Okay, Virgo. I'm just going to start here and make our way through, okay? Just one at a time. Ace of Swords. Oh, there's so much faith that comes through with the Queen of Coins. I swear, like she's the one who plants the seeds, creates the environment. Same thing here as well. Plants the seeds, allows for proper sunlight and water and earth. But she knows that life just has to kind of evolve. And so I think that's what this Ace of Swords really is. A seed. A seed of truth and a seed of honesty. Maybe for the first time in a long time, this person is actually hearing like what you really think. Hearing how you really feel. And that can be disorienting for them, but it plants a seed, again, which may probably cause them to go into sort of seclusion and hiding or whatever. Fine. I don't really think you care so much at this point, but I know that you know that the Ace of Swords was powerful enough, because Tower, that it was powerful enough, and you're just going to wait. And once you give them one little thing, right, you give them the Ace of Swords, or an Ace of Swords opportunity presents itself, that's it. I don't see anyone like coming back for seconds, another go around, another phone conversation, another fight, whatever it is. It's like, boom, it's done, it's out there, and that's it. This person may try haphazardly to make amends, but I think it's kind of like a joke to you at that point. It is. It's a little bit of a joke where you're going to be like, really? I just seriously tower moment. You gave you a tower moment and you're coming back at me with a Page of Coins reversed. Like, I don't think so. Like, no, like Virgo is nobody's fool this month, for sure. Nobody's fool. Because I think you're tired of feeling isolated and lonely. Again, that's kind of a common quote unquote problem, I guess we could call it. Like, let's go ahead and pull out the King of Swords here. King of Coins too. Look, this person's a good person. It's just sometimes, like I said, they can be so right sometimes that they, you know, they just get lost in their whole like way of life, and they don't necessarily see it from other people's perspectives very well. As much as we would like to think that a King of Swords is all open-minded, it's a fixed energy, and all the kings are out. So this person is fixed. And the only person that can change them is them, right? They have to choose to want to see it differently. They have to choose to change. So the fact that you're willing to just kind of drop a little bomb, to drop a bomb and then beeline it out of there, leaving them to just kind of pick up the pieces and like sort everything out in their mind, I think that takes a lot of guts, honestly, because I don't know, you just simply can't. Like, you're too fed up with this. When you're in a connection, whatever kind of connection it is, and someone is feeling 5 of Coins and 8 of Swords, feeling trapped and suffocated, and someone's feeling like they don't know what to do anymore, and they're feeling left out and rejected and put out to pasture almost sometimes, like, you know. And I have a feeling that this is the scraps that I was talking about, right? Like, maybe actually this is the beginning of the story. Maybe I'm kind of reading it wrong. Here's the Ace of Swords, but the Ace of Swords happens because this person is giving you these scraps, right? And this is just you telling them to just stop, to leave you alone, to stop treating you like you're insignificant, or to stop treating you like you're not important or whatever. You know, because I see your back turned. I know you've got stuff going on. I know you're busy. I know you don't want to like have to deal with this. That's the thing, is I think this is so weirdly, like with everything else that could be going on, that could have come out in these cards in terms of like your career, your work environment, your kind of new ideas that I know you got kickstarted in Gemini season. Like, with all the positive things going on, this is a nuisance. Which is why I think there's this fearlessness of the Ace of Swords and Queen of Swords. and just boom, there it is, because you just simply don't have time to deal. Like, okay, Emperor, let's get over ourselves now, you know, like the rigidity of the kings. So this one is looking straight forward, just like this one. This one also has armor on, just like this one. And this one's looking down at his coin. So there's still also not a lot of interaction. There's a lot of me kind of stuff, which is Leo season, and I guess that's okay. But, you know, when you tower moment them, they're like real rigid, real fixed. So it's like a real tower moment. And the Hermit is kind of that space that they're going to need to go in. And you know what, Virgo, you're going to need to go into that space too. That's your card, right? You stand up for what you want to say. You stand up for what you feel like you deserve in your life. You call people out on their shortcomings. Again, not in a judgmental way. You have to be careful of your tone, because we all know we can be the ice queens. I mean, we can be real bitches sometimes, like we know. So you have to be careful of your delivery, but if you deliver it fine, go do your hermit thing. Focus on you. Get your work done, clean the house, do the meditations, do the journaling, do your laundry. Like, I don't care what you do. Get lost in your own life. Okay? I wouldn't like drop the bomb and then try to keep the dialogue going, because they need a lot of time to process. And it might be like a whole month or 2 whole months, right? They might take Virgo season 2 and be like, you know what, I got to keep to myself. They may come out when kind of they achieve a balance in Libra season. So like I said, don't put expiration dates on them. Just let them process. It's going to take a long time, super long time. Now, this is you. See, and I always say, I even said this in the Leo reading, she's like my conductor of an orchestra. She has her baton and her hand up, almost like she's getting ready to like conduct a symphony or something, right? And then boom, what is she conducting? Well, she's conducting a tower. I think the tower moment's going to be real handy for you too, in terms of you seeing it from a new perspective as well. You might also be a little bit tunnel visioned, which is why the being nice about the tower is going to be your best friend. Some people are going to get real up on their high horse and start, even though they might be right, they're going to start like shaking their finger at people. And it's going to come and bite them in the ass, because the Hanged Man always makes us, you know, realize that we're not as powerful as we thought we were. We're not as holier than thou as we thought we were. And so the more humble you can be, the better, because your perspective is going to change on all of this too. So be prepared for a shift of your own. You're not entirely immune to this, okay? And I think sometimes one of the things, it's not so much that we need the tower moment to happen, but we just needed to know that the tower moment could happen, or to know that we could create it. But it's like one of those things where like once you say you need something, maybe all of a sudden you don't really need it anymore. So be prepared to evolve yourself because of all of this. Now, the King of Cups is an interesting card to come out through the Queen of Swords, because he's looking away. Because of all the King energy, so connected to the Emperor here, I can't help but be like, yeah, it's still the Emperor. And emotionally, he or she, they will pull away, but they're still not gone, you know? You're the one who put distance between the two of you, I think. Okay? You're going to be the one that puts the distance. And it's weird, because what I think is happening is they are respecting your request. Right? They're respecting what you just told them that you wanted or what you needed. So they're here, but not really here. They're really far away from you. Maybe there's even an ocean between you. Okay? A lot of Scorpio, right? Scorpio, and Pisces. So there's a lot of water energy, which tells me that you two are weirdly telepathically connected, and you have like a weird sense of each other. And they know you're not gone as much as you know that they're not gone. But here's the delivery. See, this is about your freedom, right? From the Eight of Swords, which we have here, the Eight of Swords, and up here as well. This is about your liberation from that. Now, it's interesting how many eights we get, right? The Eight of Cups, the Eight of Coins, the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Swords. Now, those cards are connected with the Strength card in the Major Arcana, number 8. And the Strength card, it is Leo season, but it is all about courage. So I think what you're doing, or whatever this situation is, it's a very courageous situation, because it's really an act of someone who simply won't put up with it anymore. And I think you are prioritizing your joy, your fulfillment, your deserving of something more fun and something more, you know, where you're more free to love. Because I question, Virgo, are you free to really give to this person the way you want to? Because I sense like you're there and like you're wanting to give, right? With the directionality, you're wanting to, but you're still very well poised. You're still very well composed. You're not necessarily walking into this person or bridging that gap between the two of you, because I think this person is kind of has this aura, like a real protective aura that you pick up intuitively, that's like, okay, I'm just gonna stay away. Clearly this person doesn't really want me in. They don't want me in. So, you know, I think you're just doing what this person has been telling you to do. In a weird way, this is almost, it's like their creation. It's the Emperor's creation. Again, if you're cross-watching and the Virgo is taking on the energy of the Emperor, which is highly likely, they've been fearful from the start, and therefore they've been keeping that protective barrier from the start, and which tells me that this kind of never really had a chance, you know, like this situation, this project, this relationship, this friendship, whatever. It just never really did, because someone was already protecting themselves from getting hurt. So, but yet they, you know, moon phase, hermit phase, hanged man, I'm not super excited about, you know, their kind of silence, because I know that's going to drive you crazy if you dwell. So the point is, don't dwell, right? Don't dwell. Don't bridge the gap. Don't call them. Don't try, you know, because I just simply don't think you are... you just have so many resources, right? Queen of Coins, Empress, Nine of Coins, you just have so many resources. Now, I'm going to keep coming back to like, this is a really good person. And I do think they pride themselves on a lot of their good qualities, which they in fact do possess. That's why this is so hard for them, because they're having to kind of go back to the drawing board a little bit and be like, am I really like that? Like, over the course of the years of my life, have I really been pushing people away? I do think if this doesn't develop into a full-on like partnership with you guys, can I talk about it in a business sense too, because the money is coming out here as well? This could be someone who really thinks that they know what they've got going on, and they've been so successful in the past that they've had a hard time accepting that you might be right, you know, accepting new ideas, because I think they have a lot of wealth backing them up, or they have a lot of experience backing them up at least. And so when you do this truth bomb thing with them, like, it's going to be a tough pill for them to swallow because they don't want to just let anybody be right. And that's the problem. There's a lot of ego floating around with this person, and it's ego that this person doesn't think they possess. And that's problematic. So, but they're also humble enough and willing to self-improve enough to go back to the drawing board and be like, was I really wrong? And this could really spin them into a state of confusion. Because they're just going to be like other people can be right too, you know? It's weird how it's becoming about who's right. And while I don't really like to play that game, you know, because everyone has a perspective that is right according to them, but as much as I don't want to play that game, I feel like you are a little bit more right, Virgo. You're a little bit more right. Because, you know, you've done the work. A lot of the work. And like I said, what did I say in the beginning, part of this reading? Like, I know you're ready to leave this Five of Swords, and here it is, the Death card. Also very Scorpionic. So a lot of Scorpio coming through. All the Scorpio cards came out. And we know how kind of nasty the Scorpio energy can be. We don't really have anything going on in Scorpio right now, but it's the Scorpionic vibe, which means that Mars in Leo probably is going to get kind of spiteful a little bit, you know, it's going to be a little aggressive with opinions and all of that, and that's to be expected. But see, I think it's time for you to start visualizing your future without this partnership or this connection. Right? It's time for you to start visualizing your life without it, or in spite of it. This is your future forward focus. And I know how progressive Virgo can be, because we all know how hard you can work, even though Neptune might be kind of screwing that up for some of us, me especially, but for some of us, I know that there's this quality of like, okay, I like to work. I like to get things done. I like to be productive. Energizer bunny. So how can I start doing that? How can I start to just like go out, make more money, make my business more successful, get that promotion, change my living circumstances, maybe even start dating? Because I think your sex drive is going to be real strong. Because as Mars makes his way for the rest of the month through Leo, it's going to move into Virgo, right? And that's going to be, you're going to feel that sex drive coming online for you. And you're going to feel like you really want to connect with someone in that deeply intimate kind of way. And you're going to want to deeply connect with someone on a professional level and a creative level. And you're going to want these kinds of interactions to feed you or fuel the fire that you're really feeling. I'm not trying to make it all about them. For some reason, that's kind of how it came out, because there's just so many cards about them. But it's not really about them. That's the whole thing. It's really about you. You're clearing up all the space. Who cares if they go into hermit mode? It doesn't matter. Who cares if they go into the secretive moon, elusive Piscean world of confusion and no one knows what the heck they're thinking? Like, who cares? Right? Because I know that you had hope here, and I know that you were like really set on something happening, because the Emperor-Empress compatibility is clearly real strong. Like, I get it, but there's better things to worry about here, especially if you've been dealing with this and banging your head against the wall. Maybe you had a super rough Cancer season and you were hoping that this season would be great. Well, yeah, it is going to be great, but it's going to be great for you. Okay, don't worry about how it's going to be great for you and someone else. Worry about how it's going to be great for you, because it is. Because this is the creative powerhouse. And I think this is such a part of your personality that people don't usually see upon meeting you, but it's what they see as they get to know you. They're like, damn, that Virgo is super legit, right? That's what it is. If you are in fact dating or putting the feelers out there for new employees or new business partners, this Knight of Cups, I think, is going to talk a real big game. I do think there's maybe some bitterness with stuff, right? Distrust. It's going to be important for you to like allow for time for this, because like I said, you're going to need to do your own hermit thing. Go hermit mode and go productive. Like, you can do both at the same time, man. Be productive in hermit mode. Why not? Write the book, get the business launched. Just do it. Express yourself, get it out there. Because I think the thought of bringing someone new on, like, you may toy with the idea of dating and all that. I just don't think it's going to settle. I think you're too drained, maybe, right? Now here's you. Reverse. You're reversed in this scenario. So when it comes to the Knight of Cups, you don't really have a lot to give. And unfortunately, I think this person set the bar real high on certain things. And I think you know that most of the knights aren't really going to do it for you. And that's why maybe that kind of bitterness, you just have to be real careful that you're not projecting, though, because you honestly never know. You never know until you try. And I feel like you're preempting. You're already projecting that this Knight of Cups isn't going to be good enough. You're already projecting, you're projecting all of your stuff onto these unsuspecting people. Truly, truly not fair for them. If you need to take time to practice forgiveness and really just move on, then fine. Just don't hurt anybody in the process. Eight of Swords. Now the World reverse came through, which does tell me that this story isn't completely over. And I knew in Cancer season that there was going to be a lot of ... scenario, like to be continued ... And here again, ... World reversed. It's just simply not closed out in spite of the Tower and in spite of the Hermit, Moon, Hanged Man. I know you don't want it to be completely done, and I don't think they do either, which is why they King of Wands you up here. But don't fantasize. Don't spend any time fantasizing here, Don't spend any time reaching out. Just get busy. 8 of Coins, 9 of Coins. Get busy. Focus on your money. Okay? Focus on your home environment. Go out with your real good friends. Be careful that you don't talk about this whole thing. All right, 3 of Cups can often bring gossip. You're drinking a couple things and you start venting. I highly recommend no venting. Okay? I don't think you have the slightest clue how this Tower impacted them. Can we talk about the Scorpio vibes for a second? I don't care which zodiac sign they are, it doesn't matter. But all the secretive, watery qualities of this person, the Tower moment is going to hit them in their core. It's going to hit them in their core. And I think on some level it will be hurtful for them to know that you think that about them, or you think that they are a certain way. And that's probably part of the Tower, is that they might really think that you have all these good feelings about everything and that you have all this respect for them, and that you and when they find out that you don't, on some level, it's going to be like, oh, damn, maybe I'm not as cool as I thought I was, or something like that, right? So don't think that even though you feel like you're hitting up against a brick wall, you're not. It is absolutely going straight to the heart, straight to the subconscious, straight to their feelings of emotional security, right? That's why be nice. That's why be nice. I think here they are, there's a very sweet exchange coming through, but I don't want you to sit and fantasize about what's going to happen when you reconnect. I honestly would go into this with the expectation that it's time for you to move on, but with the possibility that people can change in their own way, and if they do in fact change, you'll at least hear them out. But focus on a new kind of future, okay? Focus on, I don't know, whether it's a new kind of person. Ultimately, I think most of the focus is going to be on you, yourself. It's Leo season after all, so And in a way, you yourself take on a Knight of Cups energy. You know, I think this is a time when you feel romantic about your own life. Now, the Nine of Wands reversed I love, because it tells me that you are trying real hard to not be protective. So I kind of am feeling like a little bit of an evolution of a story with this bottom row, where you have this dark cynicism or bitterness that can easily be projected onto a Knight of Cups, an unsuspecting suitor. And then ultimately here you are coming to that point of realization that this person has nothing to do with this person, okay? And so you lower your guard, and I think you'll be successful in that action by doing that. You'll feel good about it, you know, because it means that this person isn't holding you hostage, or you're not holding yourself hostage because of someone being whatever it was, you know. So this is about not holding yourself hostage. It's about freedom and release and liberation. And for many of you, maybe many of you really, really cared what this person thought, because it is an emperor after all. So maybe you really cared what this person thought, and now you are freeing yourself from, well, what happens if I stop caring what this person thinks? You know? Don't vent, don't complain, don't whine, don't feed this. Don't do it. Highly recommended. Keep your mouth shut. Because the more and more negative energy that you give to this, right? The more and more negative energy you give to yourself. Why would you do that to yourself, Virgo? Why? Don't. Not needed. King of Wands, which I really liked for you in the beginning, but then this Knight of Wands reverse came out after it. Which tells me you're just going to be focusing on yourself. Like, so great that you can, you know, maybe meet a King of Wands or something. But ultimately, the whole journey is continually coming back to yourself, back to yourself, back to yourself. You're going to be finding center, the Tao, in the middle. That's what this whole thing is really all about, coming back to equilibrium as we reach or get closer and closer, right? Because we're now in that waning period. We're coming off of eclipse season. Aries and Libra right now, with the axis the way it is, being Capricorn, Cancer. So Aries and Libra are the valleys between the eclipses. So you're waning, coming back to an equilibrium, which will meet in Libra. And in that process, right, you're breathing in and out, in and out. You're going to feel more and more and more empowered. And I think that Buddha inside of you, that deeply compassionate, because I think you look at this and you see ego. I think you see someone who is very trapped by their culture and their societal norms. You see someone who doesn't see it from as high level as you see it. So you can't be angry about it. You can't be compassionate and mad about it. Those two things don't exist. So if you find yourself feeling more angry, breathe. Take a step back, breathe, focus on the core, heart chakra, and tap into that, like, what would Buddha do? Or what would Jesus do if you're Christian, right? Or whatever kind of faith you have. What would my guides have me do? What would the universe have me do? Okay, ask yourself that question, because I honestly think you're going to play it perfectly. And this is a huge learning moment. And this is like what soul contracts is all about. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be together forever, but you sure as hell are going to teach each other stuff. Okay, and that's what this is. So, Virgo, beautiful reading, but big. But I'm going to leave you with that. Good luck with everything. I wish you absolutely nothing but the best, all right? Take care. Bye-bye.